the River Nidd in Knaresborough. Just enjoying a trip out on a boat here. Down river. Right next to the railway bridge here. Spectacular view from up by the old castle ruins. Lovely small town in Yorkshire, North Yorkshire. All the history here. This old chapel, Our Lady of the Crag. The name suggests it goes back to Catholic times, probably before the Reformation, but actually here, if you read this, in 1408 the chapel of Our Lady of the Crag was excavated as a wayside shrine by John the Mason, traditionally in thanksgiving for his youngest son being miraculously saved from a falling rock. So he was miraculously saved. Permission for the shrine was granted by King Henry VIII. There we are. So, with all that went on in the Reformation, everything else, he did allow it. River Nidd. Up on the hill you see the war memorial. There we are. There remains the old castle to the left there. River Nidd here. And we've got the viaduct here as well. In Knaresborough. Now we have a very interesting local folly here. Tough to find, it's quite overgrown around here. We're up in the crags around Knaresborough and we have finally found the cottage in the rock, just up there. Even the locals are slightly confused about how to find it. Not that far from the chapel in the crag as well. It's below here. Not far away. Quite close to the River Nidd here. Probably because it looks like it could be somebody's garden here, which people don't come up here. But certainly, what's the public right way to have a look at it. Difficult to find though, but that's about all you can see. Up in the rocks. Well, anybody in Knaresborough might come along here to the car park. If you come by car, it is near Cunningham Hall. Now it's called Cunningham Car Park. But what we have here is history of the town and the area. A lot of history around here going back a long time. The information is all here. And we have an old farmstead here, or what they're calling an old farmery. Now there's the original artist's impression, perhaps the drawing of what it could have looked like. Now I would say that the sort of pens here possibly were over there. And the buildings there, looks like a barn there, a few other outbuildings there, well possibly over there. See the ruins there? There, well, this is an artist's impression of what it may have looked like in the 1890s. Decades ago, the scene in front of you would have looked and sounded and smelled very different indeed. What you see now are the remains of a farmery, a collection of buildings and a yard needed to keep a farm running. But as to who built it, that remains somewhat a mystery. Well, some of the records point to Basil Wood, the W-O-O-D-D. That's not a misprint. Who owned Cunningham Hall from 1856, the first chairman of Knaresborough Urban District Council. There, all the information is here. And twice the town's MP, he altered and extended the hall and built a new estate farm. Other historians, however, suggest that the builder is more likely to have been Charles Charlesworth, whose family occupied the hall from 1905. But there are some who think that we can thank Harold Mackintosh, the famous Halifax toffee maker, who was a renowned breeder of prize Jersey dairy cattle and lived at the hall from 1925. But no matter who was responsible, this was a bustling traditional farmyard scene well within living memory. A local resident can be readily recalled saying hundreds of hens, a few sows with piglets, and a couple of dozen heifers and primrose. But no matter who was responsible, this was a bustling traditional farmyard scene well within living memory. A local resident can readily recall hundreds of hens, a few sows with piglets, a couple of dozen young heifers, and Primrose, the faithful milker. Towards the end of the 20th century, the buildings fell into decay and became overgrown and unsafe. The site was fenced off to the public for almost 40 years. The Cunningham Hall Farm Working Group was set up reclaiming this farm site. The grant funding by REN, W-R-E-N, and the Waste Recycling Group and the help of local groups and organisations have brought this project to completion. As you view the site today, it's easy to conjure up a picture of a gentler, more rural way of life. There we are. There's more information here as it goes on about the race in the summertime in June on a Saturday. The roads are closed. Knaresborough bed race started in 1966, and then it's about the river. You can walk along the river Nidd. There we are. Nidd was formed at the end of the last ice age as the ice melted and a huge volume of water carved out the gorge around 15,000 years ago. There we are. Kingfisher there as well, looking on. Have a quick look at these buildings here. While it's quiet, some of the ruins here. Locals do frequent with dogs and children, etc. Only the ruins remain here. A large barn probably stood here, according to the artist's impression. A few more adjacent outbuildings